That's right, the all spectrum. Oh, hello there. I'm so sorry. I wasn't expecting anyone else today. Did you have an appointment? No, that's perfectly fine. I'm happy to take walk-ins as long as I have the time. It's not like we always plan to have difficulties with our aura or paranormal problems. So we try to make sure here that we always have someone available to help, no matter what time. I'm sorry, how rude of me. Welcome to Evermore Institute. You're here, so obviously you probably know a little bit about us, but we are here to help paranormal creatures, cryptids, and of course humans who have problems with the paranormal as well, in any sort of way that you might need it. Now, did the receptionist out front, does she send you here? Alright, wonderful. Well then, you're in a very good place to start. My name is Aurelia Grove. You can call me Aurelia, you can call me Dr. Grove, you can call me whatever you'd like, really, I don't mind. Now, I am the aura specialist here today. There are quite a lot of people in the Evermore Institute who are very adept at reading people's auras, their energy fields, all that kind of thing. But I take things a bit further. We do some clinical testing and things like that too, just to make sure that we understand what the issue is. So, if someone doesn't exactly know what's wrong, this is a great place to start. So, what seems to be troubling you today? You've been feeling a bit off with your energy. Was there anything recently that happened that might have triggered some sort of a change? Oh, an expedition. Well, that's quite exciting. What is your field of study, if you don't mind me asking? Really, I have always found the art of archaeology quite fascinating. Well, not an art, I suppose. A science, a study, of course. But I think in all study there is also a bit of art. Well, where were you in your expedition, if you don't mind me asking? Ah, yes, quite a dry climate there, yes. Yeah, rather difficult on the lungs, I would expect. When did you get back to London, if you don't mind me asking? I see, and is that when the problems with your energy, your auric field started? Alright, not to worry. We'll get to the bottom of this, don't worry. I will give you a full assessment, and that will help us determine what's going on. If it's something that I can fix, I'll be happy to. If it's not something that I can fix, I will point you in the direction of the right professional. Alright, so no matter what, we'll make sure you're taken care of. Okay, well, I do just have a few questions for you to start out, alright? I might have some other questions as I learn more, but just to start a patient intake. Have you been here before to the Institute? Okay, not to worry. Well, could I just get your full name then for the record? Right. Lovely to meet you. And what is your date of birth? Okay. And I don't like to assume by appearances. Are you human or are you another type of creature? Human, alright. Sorry to hear that. No, I'm joking. I'm human too, unfortunately. Alright, lovely. So the location of your expedition. Right, could you be a bit more specific? Ah, I see. Interesting. What was the duration of your expedition? Okay, were you in the same region of the country the whole time, or did you move around a bit? Okay. Rather dry climate, you said. Now, while you were on the expedition, were you sleeping all right? Okay, and what about since you've returned? Okay. Well, it could be something perfectly simple. It could be just, exhaustion, just your body reacclimating itself to the chilly London climate here. But if it is something serious, we'll find out, and we'll take care of it too. Now, could you tell me, what sort of symptoms have you been experiencing? You said you were feeling a bit off. Paranoia, okay. Any sort of clinging to you? Would you say that it feels like something might be following you, or trying to siphon your energy, sap your energy, anything like that? Okay, well that's a good sign. Alright. Hearing voices, and then no one's there. Interesting. That's not entirely common, although it's not entirely uncommon either. We'll see what's going on, don't you worry. Alright, well, I'd like to start out with just a very simple preliminary assessment, alright? Pop on my glasses here. These are spectral lenses, just so I can sort of get an idea of what's going on. Interesting. Nothing to be worried about, I'm sure. You do have a very active aura, but it does seem a bit off, doesn't it? Not to worry. We'll figure it out. Could I please have your wrists? I'd like to test your pulse, if you don't mind. Okay. Could I see your other wrist, please, if you don't mind? Interesting. Alright, I'm going to hold them both at the same time, if you don't mind. It's a bit peculiar. Well, they're slightly off, actually. It's different on each wrist. Alright, I'd like to just take a close look into your pupils as well, if you don't mind. Could you please just gaze into this candle? Not too directly, I suppose. I'll keep it back, but just try to keep your eyes steady, okay? Okay. Over on this side, please just look at that candle, right? Could you look up for me, please? Look up. Alright. Could you look to this side, please? Just over by the candle. Right. And now over to this side again. Could you track this candle with your light, with your eyes, please? Just follow the light with your eyes. Okay. Alright, I'm just going to hold up my hand sort of in the middle of your eyes, okay? I won't actually touch you, but just sort of blocking out one eye. It's intriguing. Alright. Just look straight ahead. You don't have to try to look at the candle or anything. Just testing your consensual pupillary responses here. That can often be a sign of something unusual in the auric field. No, nothing to be alarmed about, don't worry. It's a bit of a puzzle. I like puzzles. Should be just fine here. Right on this side. Interesting. What side do you normally sleep on? Oh, do you sleep on your back, on your stomach, on your right side, left side? Okay. going to take these off for now. I'm going to use something called a Phantoscope viewer, alright? Nothing to be alarmed about, it's just, it gives me a little bit of a different depth of viewing your aura, I suppose. It sort of picks up on residue. Could you look over here at my finger, please? Just look over in this direction. Right, could you look over at this side, please? Look at my fingers there. Right, I'm just going to come to the side over here. Just pick a spot straight ahead and try to look at that, okay? Do that every day, don't you? Right. Over there, you can pick another spot, just something on the wall over there. Interesting. What's the work to be done? That doesn't really. I know how intriguing. Right. Well, it would appear that there is some sort of residual energy around you, perhaps from something on your expedition. I'm sure it's nothing to be alarmed about, but we will do a thorough cleansing and examination just to make sure. Right. If you don't mind, I'd like to just light a bit of incense. It might seem like a very simple, silly thing, but incense can be a very powerful tool when dealing with different forces. Different types of incense do different things. I think we'll go with this one today. This is dragon's blood. It's a lovely, sort of spicy, earthy scent. It's created from the sap of a dragon tree, which is why it's called dragon's blood. It's quite a lovely ancient tree, and it has very deeply protective and grounding, cleansing sort of energy to it. So I think that might be a good place to start today, just to make sure there isn't anything too serious going on. As I said, I'm sure there isn't. For a moment. Right. I'm just going to move this around your energy. Oh my, that is quite the reaction. Okay. Interesting. Well, I did say this is quite a cleansing sort of incense. I wasn't expecting quite as intense of a reaction. Hold on, I'm going to put my spectral lenses back on here so I can really see exactly what's going on. Not to worry, you can just hold still, right? If you'd like, you can watch the tip of the incense, but I'm just going to be moving this around a little bit. Curious. Now, your expedition, I would assume that you were digging, excavating, all that kind of thing. Were you around any sort of graves, temples, sealed chambers that were open for the first time? Okay. Now, did you have some sort of a professional with you, like a spiritualist or a religious protector, anything like that, on your expedition with you? Right. Were there other people on your expedition that seemed as though they were being strangely affected as well? Right. What about since you've returned home? Have any of them started complaining of the same sort of symptoms? Okay. I think it was a good idea to start with some incense. I'm going to use something called a prism rod now, alright? This is a very specialised tool that helps to refract astral light against your skin and also against your aura. It reacts differently to different kinds of auras, alright? So, it's just a little rod here with some crystals in it that makes it glow. Just want to see. Interesting. Fascinating. No, it normally, It's quite a puzzle too, isn't it? Back to red. Have you ever experienced these symptoms before in your life? Like perhaps when you were a very young child? Okay. Yes, children do seem to be very susceptible to different types of energy. They also believe themselves a bit more. Sometimes we grown-ups just call ourselves silly, say we're overreacting, say we're probably just tired, probably just stressed, instead of trusting ourselves that something is wrong. That is definitely a fascinating reaction. Interesting. Right. Curious. I'm sure it's nothing to be alarmed about. It's just rather curious. Now, did you bring any relics or artifacts back with you to London? You did, alright. Have they been cleansed or sort of assessed by any sort of auric protector, spiritual protector, anything like that? Okay. What sort of artifact did you bring back? Has it been near you when you slept at all? Perhaps not directly by your bed or anything like that, but if you were studying it and perhaps fell asleep while you were studying it or something like that. Okay. Curious. Quite a state of flux. You know, these colours in your aura, they're rather strange. Usually someone has 1 to 3 colours in their aura. There's usually one sort of dominating colour, and then the others sort of ebb and flow a little bit. And that colour can change a little bit throughout your life, but this many colours and changing this much. Peculiar. Would you give me just one moment? Alright, I'm just going to use this little tool here. This is called a Mesmeric Pendulum. I just want you to focus on this little pendulum as it swings, alright? Put these back on. to worry. Just do the best that you can to follow this with your eyes, okay? Interesting. Very interesting. I wonder. Have you noticed, as you've been walking or something like that, have you noticed any spots in the air that seemed to be very cold or very warm, but just for a moment, and then it goes back to normal? Okay. Have you noticed any sort of strange, unusual reactions from animals? Right. I'm going to something to help try to realign your energy a little bit. Right. This is my selenite alignment spiral. Now, selenite is a beautiful, pure stone. It's wonderful for clarity, for cleansing, and for amplifying good energy. And the spiral shape is wonderful for helping to realign things into the flow that they should be in, right? So I'm just going to come and just bring this closer to you for a moment. Okay, good. Could you follow the tip of this for me? Just for a moment. Just try to follow that with your eyes. Yep, just keep following the point of that. Interesting. Right, I'm just going to bring this in, sort of smooth it over your aura a little bit, okay? This can help to smooth out any sort of energetic fields. Get rid of this coronal dissonance too, perhaps. There we go. Okay. Interesting. Right, we're going to use another tool here. This is one of those tools that looks very simple. It's actually rather ancient and complex, but the concept of it is very simple, I suppose. This is a spool of astral thread. I'm going to use this to sort of, in a way, I suppose, measure the reach of your field. See if we're unbalanced at all, right? I'm going to take very thin red here. Right. Just this out. Okay. Just hold nice and still for me if you don't mind. Interesting. Alright. Temple there. That's definitely still hot. Right, but then over here. Maybe shorter. This side. no. I'm sure it's nothing to be too alarmed about. I just want to assure you, this place, Evermore Institute, is very highly protected, both physically and from any sort of paranormal energies as well. It's probably why we're getting such severe reactions today. But nothing is going to harm you as long as you're here, okay? Okay. It didn't tell me much, honestly. It sort of just confirmed what I was already thinking here. Alright. I'm just going to use a few different tools to sort of recheck some things, making sure that the data is accurate. This little spray bottle here is full of Rosehip moonwater. It's lovely for cleansing the room's energy, keeping you and I both nicely cleansed and calm. But it also can help to rid us of lingering attachments too. So, why don't you just close your eyes? I'm going to just spritz this around you a bit, okay? There we are. One over here. Okay. It did give a bit of a reaction to just probably a good thing, actually, I would think. Okay. Just going to feel around your aura a little bit to see what sort of coronal dissonance we're dealing with. Right. Alright. I'm going to get something else to try to reset the room's frequency a little bit too, okay? I'm just going to strike this little bowl, alright? You don't have to do anything. If you'd like, you can close your eyes. This is just going to help to reset our space a little bit, okay? Do it on this side. Interesting. On this side. Curious. Right? You said that you've been hearing voices. What do they say? Can you make out what they're saying, or is it more just gibberish or murmurs or perhaps a different language? It calls your name. Okay. Have you had any sensations of being watched or followed at all? But then you turn around and no one's there. Okay. if you wouldn't mind, I'm going to give you a little talisman I'd like you to hold on to, right? This, actually, as an archaeologist, I'm sure you would appreciate it. This is a little brooch, sort of a clasp for a cloak. It's very ancient and it's made of iron. Iron is a wonderful material for cleansing any sort of negativity and protecting against evil forces. So, if you wouldn't mind, just hold out your palm. I'm just going to put that right there. I can give it a little bit of a squeeze if you would like. Yes, good, good. Yes, it's got a nice weight to it, doesn't it? Quite comforting, actually, I find. Alright. Have you had any sort of strange or incredibly vivid or lucid dreams? Okay. What were they like? Could you tell me? Right. Have you been waking up in the middle of the night, like very suddenly, in a cold sweat? It's not at the same time every night, is it? What time? Okay. All right. I don't have exact answers right now, but it does seem rather apparent that you may have come home with a souvenir from your expedition that you weren't exactly expecting. But, as I said earlier, you are safe here. The Evermore Institute is very, very highly protected. Nothing will reach you while I am present, okay? Alright. I'm going to use a series of different lenses, rings, some discs and things like that are just going to help me filter out some of this, well, some of the confusion and get a better look, okay? You don't have to do anything for this. There might be times when I ask you to look through a lens or something like that, but for the most part, this is just going to be a tool that I can use to see a bit more clearly. Okay. Yes, all right. Alright, could you look through this little disc here for me? Just look through there, follow that as best as you can. Okay, need to bring in a little ring here. Don't worry. It might cause a bit of a strange reaction. Oh, really? Alright, I'm going to do it again. What do you see? Can you tell me? Can you describe it to me? Really? Peculiar. Okay. To try a different one, actually. A copper one here. Right, what do you see now? Right. Okay. Now I would like you to look through the copper ring here. Try to ignore this one, alright? They might cross in front of each other a bit, that's fine if it does, but just keep your focus on this one, not this one, okay? Interesting. Yes, well, a different... I don't want to use the word entities, but I think that might be where we are. Different energies react differently to different materials and crystals and the like. Right. Let's try this one. Right. A different one there. Just want to focus through the disc here, okay? Are you seeing any pictures in it now? Okay. That's probably a good sign. I'm picking up on something there. I think I need my balancing ring here. This one. It's quite fascinating. You have two different materials that can help to, well, balance, I suppose. Are you seeing any pictures now? Interesting. No, I think that's good. That's eliminating some of what might be causing this. Okay. Alright. I'd like you to follow this silver disc. Ignore the ring, okay? Follow the disc, ignore the ring. I mean, they might cross, but just keep your focus on the silver disc. Interesting. Bring that copper one back in. Get a different reaction to this one, okay? You do? Is it different when I move this one away? Okay. Right. Follow the copper ring, ignore the balancing ring, right? Just follow this one, ignore this one. Right. Just keep your eye over here. Ignore the one that's close to you. Just look over here, please. Good, good, good. You're doing an excellent job. Just following this. Right, good, good. All right. Okay. That was actually quite informative, I think. Yes. Good. Have you noticed any an influx in things like spiders, beetles, things like that, that almost seem to be following you? Right. You said you were an archaeologist. Are you a specialist in any certain culture, civilization, things like that? Okay. Have you ever had an expedition in this location before? Sure. Okay. Right. Well, I think we're going to have to perform something called an Aetherotomy, right? It's a rather simple little procedure, I suppose you could call it. It's just going to help me extract any sort of filaments that might be in your aura trying to affect you. Alright? It's going to be very, very simple. You shouldn't feel a thing. I suppose you might feel just a slight coolness or something like that. It's perfectly normal, alright? This is etheric antiseptant, okay? Just need a few drops of this. It'll help to loosen the attachment and keep everything sanitized. Right. Alright. Let's see what we can see here. Another wand here we're going to use. I use this for energy realignment, but it can also help to draw out things that shouldn't be there. Right. Now, I would like you to try to stay very, very still, alright? Just need to get into some of these energy points here and see what we can see. Could you look up a little bit for me? Doesn't seem to be it. Alright, you can look straight ahead again for me, please. Not there either. The voice of Evermore. Could you move your head down just a little bit? Thank you. There either. Right. Now you can just hold nice and still, right? Let's check that out. I think we found the problem. There does seem to be just some parasitic auric filaments here, just tucked behind the heart line. Not to worry, now that we know what the problem is, we can take care of it. Alright. These are my iron shears. They're wonderful for ridding you of energies that shouldn't be here, right? Now, as I'm using these, you won't feel any sort of pain, though you may feel just a slight tug in your energy around your heart, perhaps. But it shouldn't be painful. If it's painful, do let me know. But please try to stay nice and still, alright? Just going to very careful here. Right. Interesting. Slippery little ones, aren't they? There it is. Right. You feeling all right? Good, good, good. Do you feel that slight tugging at all? Okay, any severe changes in temperature? Okay. There we are. Good. Now, once these filaments are free from you, they will dissipate almost instantly. Whatever doesn't dissipate will be picked up by our incense that we've been burning. So don't you worry about any of this returning to you or anything like that. They are rather parasitic. These filaments cannot survive without a host, so as soon as they are snipped with my iron shears, they will no longer be a problem. There we are. Right. I think we're almost done here. Are you feeling any lighter? Perhaps a slight bit calmer? very glad to hear that. Right. Good. Right, well, that was the end of the Aetherotomy. I told you it was very simple. Don't feel anything. I'd just like to recheck a few things, alright? Could you look through this disc here? Good. Now, could you look through this disc here? Good. Back to this one. Good. Back to this one. Good. Now I'm just going to hold them in the side of your vision, but just look straight ahead at my nose, okay? Interesting because it's not interesting. That's very good. Very good, very good. I don't seem to see any sort of reaction anymore. Do you see any sort of picture, light, colour, anything inside this disc? Good. Good, good. And how about if I use these two together? Do you see anything inside of there? Good, good. Right, let's just give one more quick little pass with our incense here, shall we? Make sure that none of that pesky little energy is going to come back. Now, I would suggest whatever artifacts or other things that you have brought back from your expedition, I would bring them into the Institute to get them properly cleansed, alright? We do actually have a curse removal specialist who works here as well. She is very, very good. So, that might be beneficial. Just an idea. But something tells me you're going to be sleeping much better, not feeling nearly as paranoid anymore. Now that we've gotten those little parasitic filaments out of here. Good. Alright. Just going to recheck really quickly one more time. My little lens here, alright? Good, good. Definitely looking better now. Definitely better. I'd say that aetherotomy was a rousing success. Now, I would like you to stay overnight for observation, if that's alright with you, just to make sure that there aren't any sort of side effects, make sure we didn't miss anything. I really don't think we did, but just in case. I would much rather have you here instead of at home feeling alone and scared. Okay, good, good, good. Then I will be transferring you to the etheric sanatorium, alright? They are excellent at the recovery and should also be very good at, if there are any sort of side effects, especially if you start feeling very warm or very cold, anything like that. They will know what sort of things are normal and what sort of things should be addressed, and they'll come get me or someone else, right? They're very, very good at their job. So, I think an overnight stay in the etheric sanatorium would do you wonders. And as long as they don't find any sort of issues and you're feeling better, I see no reason why you can't go home tomorrow, okay? No, why don't you keep that little talisman? I think that would be a good thing for you to hold on to, alright? Now, like I said, I would suggest getting those artifacts cleansed. But, now that we've removed those little filaments, I don't think you'll be having any issues anymore. Good. I'm glad that you're feeling much more like yourself. Well, you can head out the door. The receptionist can point you in the direction of the etheric etheric sanatorium, I will ring them and let them know that you're on your way, okay? If you have any other questions, if any of these symptoms start to happen again, or if you just want to double check, make sure that everything's okay, don't hesitate to come back. We're always happy to help here at Evermore Institute.